You want to be able to know how to communicate the true, the good, the beautiful. Because when we encounter these things, what we're encountering is a piece of the capital T, true, the capital G, good, and the capital B, beautiful. We're encountering a little piece of God. Welcome back to the Stand Firm Project. I'm Marek Dojs, Professor of Communication and Art at the University of Mary. When I was in school, going to university, I studied history. Big lover of history, grew up around history, had people who had encountered incredible historical moments in their life, and I just loved it. I was immersed in it. And I had the opportunity to study at university. I thought, I'm going to go and dive deep into the subject. I found out rather quickly, though, that history was not everybody's favorite subject. And I would have encounters with people, typical university encounters would be like, oh, what's your major? I'm this or that. And then when I would say history, I would more often than not get the comment, I hate history. I hated history. Like, why would you study something that I hate? It was so boring, so dull. And they would say, well, why do you study history? Why do you love it so much? And I would get into it, and I would talk about it, and I would talk about my personal connections that I had with it. And very short, but very short and sweet. And afterwards, more often than not, I would have people say to me, if history was taught to me the way that you just spoke about it, I'd be so much more interested in it. That's really where I began to get interested in communication. And in particular, I was really fascinated with the idea of how could I communicate history in a way that people could relate to. And I ended up moving towards documentary film, and that's kind of where my focus was when I went to graduate school. But it was really about communication. It was really about the encounter that I was having with something that was true, something good, and that was beautiful, that I saw, true, good, and beautiful. And deep inside me, I wanted to share these things. You see, I believe that when we encounter something that's true, good, and beautiful, we do have this innate desire inside us to want to share that with people. It's within us. And we've all experienced it. We've all had that fantastic hamburger at a kind of a small hamburger joint no one's ever heard of. We are telling everybody about that place. And we see a new show online. We are enraptured by it. We are telling everybody about it. We see a new movie that we are just, totally connect with. We want to tell people about it. It is something within all of us. The true, the good, the beautiful. When we encounter these things, we want to share them because it's not about us. It's about the collective experience. It's about communication. It's about the creation of one with others. Communication, the word communication, begins with com, which comes from Latin, meaning with, together, jointly. And communication, unication, it's with, unified. Communication is, in many ways, as a friend of mine says, the art of making one. And that making of one occurs through the sharing of a message. And at the heart of that message is something most often true, something good, and something beautiful. So communication is key to the sharing of the true, the good, the beautiful. Communication is key to creating community. Another word that's connected to communication, community, common. We want to take these things that we experience, these good things, these beautiful things, these true things, and make them common. I want you to experience this as well. And so it's important for us to be good communicators because there's nothing more annoying than that coworker who's telling you to watch that show on streaming and they keep nagging you and nagging you and nagging you. And you, after a while, will want to do anything but watch that show because it's not been communicated well. You want to be able to know how to communicate the true, the good, the beautiful. Because when we encounter these things, what we're encountering is a piece of the capital T, true, the capital G, good, and the capital B, beautiful. We're encountering a little piece of God. We're encountering trueness, beauty, goodness. And it's in a glimpse. And we want to be able to communicate that well. Being able to do that through things like media, what you guys here at Stand Firm Project are doing, is a great example of this. Being able to bring people in who can communicate these things very well to audiences all around the world through the internet. In fact, in many ways, this is what this media is for. Pope Benedict XVI, in his 42nd World Communication Day message, said, one might even say, seeking and presenting of the truth of humanity might constitute the highest vocation of social communication. And whenever the church says social communication, what the church means is mass communication. Being able to seek and present the truth about humanity. Being able to seek and present the good, being able to seek and present the beautiful. That we can use tools like this to share that message. That we can simply also click the little share button and share messages like this to let people know about the true and the good and the beautiful. Because as Christians, we are called to evangelize. We're called to share that message. That it's not just that great little hamburger that we get at that little, small shop and we keep it and we eat it and we keep it all secret to ourselves. It's not what this is about when we encounter Christ. It's not about that great show that we let no one else watch. No, it's what we want everyone to experience. When we encounter Christ, we want to be able to share. We want to be able to share that authentic encounter. But why is that sometimes so hard to do? There might be fear, right? The fear of what people might think. There might be concern about, I don't necessarily want to speak out about that because I might be labeled something. We never really think about that when it comes to these smaller things, though, right? We're happy to let people know what shows we watch and what movies we're watching. But for something that's really important, we have to be able to gain that courage to be able to speak. We have to be able to speak the truth. We have to speak the goodness and speak about the beauty. But it also might mean, too, that we have yet to encounter it at a level in which it's permeated us. Like my friends who would ask me about history. Why do you like history? For me, it was the personal experience that I had. And when we encounter people and we have the opportunity to speak about Christ, to do it well, we should be speaking from that personal place. The times in which I've encountered Christ and what he's done in my life. How the teachings of the church have revealed things to me in a new way so that I can see the world in a new way. That has drawn me closer together in community with members of my family, members of my community, members of my church. It's the encounter with Christ, the authentic encounter with Christ, that's going to lead us to want to share, want to communicate. It's not just through things like this. It's through our voices, through the words that we speak. And often we're concerned, I don't have the words. I'm not a great communicator. I can't speak. All God is asking us is, when the moment arises, to open our mouth. Because as Scripture says, the Spirit will speak for us. The Spirit will move. And the right words are said. Not the perfect words. Not the words that we think that are the best, but the right words. And if we continue to seek that personal encounter, we continue to seek the truth that is Christ, the goodness that is Christ, and the beauty that is Christ, that stirring in our heart is only going to get more and more restless until we share that more and more with others. Thanks for watching another episode of the Stand Firm Project, and I encourage you to tune in next time.